Well, there are lots and lots of ways that men can use women. They can use them for sex. You hear that all the time. Oh, I just want to hook up. I don't want any kind of relationship. I don't want to be tied down. Don't want the old ball and chain. Just want to hook up. That's one way that men can use women. How about for social proof? Have you ever seen a guy with a girlfriend versus a guy who never has a girlfriend? Inherently, as a society, we tend to think of a guy who can get a girlfriend and sustain a relationship with a quality woman over an extended period of time. We typically give him credit as being a good person just through association. She wouldn't date him if he wasn't a really good person. Now, you and I know that's not true, that there's plenty of guys who lie and he might not be a great guy, but by being seen with a partner, it definitely shows to society that he's a good guy. So that's another way that men can use women. How about personal validation, right? Oh, you're the best, you're the greatest, I love you, you're so great. Yeah, personal validation. It's another way a man can use a woman just to get himself that personal validation. He could be looking for more money or resources. Maybe she's got a really nice apartment. Maybe she lives by the sports stadium. I don't know. But maybe there's some opportunity to live a slightly better lifestyle by dating this woman. And finally, maybe it introduces him to different social circles. It's like social proof and connection for him where he meets a bunch more women. And those women are attracted to him because he's dating an attractive woman. And so for men, this is just a small list of things or ways that they can use women. Now, before I get 1,000 comments from men saying, well, what about all of the ways women use men? I am sure there are also ways, but this is a channel where I'm focused on helping women. So if you want to figure out how women use men, go to another channel. You don't need to sit here and argue. It's just different content for different channels. And if you haven't noticed, I'm Jason Silver, and I'm the dating coach for ambitious women. And this is my new studio. It's almost like season 2 of my YouTube channel, almost 2 years in, and we got this really nice studio. I used to have to go to my friend's studio, and now I've got a beautiful space to share information, and I'm doubling down. I've had such an overwhelming experience hopping on YouTube. This was all new to me. We're less than 2 years in, and we've already gotten over 100,000 subscribers, reaching over 1 million views every single month on my videos. And I'm so honored, and this has allowed me, the more women that have joined my coaching programs, the more women that are receiving great results from working with me, I've been able to now invest back into my content, my lessons, and really helping you to not only research what men really want and how to attract them, but also to figure out and really understand how do you avoid getting hurt or used or manipulated. And I'm actually in the midst of shooting Why Great Guys Pull Away, which is my new program that's going to be released in a couple of weeks. But I just have to tell you, I have hired very renowned, well-known psychologists and evolutionary psychologists, and we've done some really cool research and content creation together that I know you're going to find really helpful to attracting higher quality men, especially if you're beyond the ages of your 20s or your early 30s and you're really looking on attracting a healthy, loyal, commitment-minded man. I'm actually going to add the link to the bottom of this video when we launch it in a couple weeks. So if you're watching this and you're watching it a little late, then just check the link in the video because you're really going to want to check out that program. And for today, I need to tell you, this is so important, okay? The lesson to learn from this video is not to allow yourself to be used. This is so key. You cannot allow yourself to be used because as long as you allow yourself to be a tool or just a mechanism for a man's fulfillment, you basically lose out on your ability to be seen and regarded as a high-value, lifelong partner. That's really important. This is key. So I say don't be used. Easy enough, right? Just don't allow yourself to be used. Well, the key here is the way that you stop yourself and repel men who are trying to use you is you just make sure that you have a boundary and you ensure that your needs are being met. See, I have a client who was dating a guy, and the guy was very clear with her. They hadn't slept together, and he was telling her, I appreciate you. I believe I'm, really falling for you, but I'm in love with another woman. Not physically, nothing like that, just emotionally. I'm really in love with her. Well, she was telling me they have this great connection, and it seemed that he wanted a short-term relationship, and she didn't know what to do because she had a lot of fun with him. So I said, as long as your needs are being met, I'm not here to shame anyone into wanting the type of relationship that I want in my life. If you don't want a lifelong monogamous relationship, that's fine. Or If this is something that you're going to enjoy as a temporary relationship because you know it's a temporary relationship and that's that, you don't have any other expectations and you're just enjoying yourself, I fully support that. However, my client that was, talking to this guy, she wanted a lifelong relationship. She didn't want to waste any more time. And it became very clear to her after I spoke with her that it just wasn't going to work out. And what she did is she walked away. And it was hard because she felt that connection. She really liked him, but she walked away. And this is the really cool thing that happened. By walking away and by moving through that pain and allowing herself to be an independent individual that doesn't need him and raised up her own standards, refused to allow a lower quality relationship into her life. By doing that, she was able to increase her self-esteem, her self-confidence, and really, she feels way more sexy than she used to before. She's got this swagger back, and that's beautiful. And I actually think about when I met my wife and the date that I went on just before I went out with my wife, she was gorgeous. I mean, I was very physically attracted to her and I just knew we weren't a fit. I just knew. I knew she was drinking a lot and she wanted to go back to her place. And all I wanted to do on that date was go back to her place. That was it. Okay, I really wanted to go back there. But I knew that I was committed. I was invested in finding a lifelong committed partner. That was what I wanted. I wanted a family, I wanted a partner, and I wanted a sweet wife. Okay, that's what I wanted. And so I said to myself, what kind of woman do I want for a marriage? And what would she do in this situation? If there was a guy that she knew that she wasn't going to end up with, would she just go and sleep with him? And I'm not here to tell you what's right or wrong for you. Now, this has nothing to do with whether you want someone who would or who wouldn't go out and sleep with someone. That's not the point. The point is finding the character traits that are important to you and acting within those character traits. So the date before I went out with my wife, on our first date, I had a choice point where I could either go sleep with this woman that I knew would be a short-term relationship and display character traits that I did not want to attract in my partner, or I can act exactly like my partner, I would have wanted my partner to have acted, which is to go home and get a good night's rest. And guess what? I did that. I can't believe I did that. But the next date, I met my wife. And that tells me something. That tells me that, sometimes energetically, when you shut one door, another one opens. If you're in a relationship with a man right now, and you know that it's not going anywhere, it's not the type of relationship that you want, that you deserve, I encourage you and I support you to take the actions that you would want your future partner to take. Really commit to those. Act as if you are the person you want to attract, because something begins to happen. We begin to love and respect ourselves more. And when we love and respect ourselves more, we think the quality of person that we can attract is higher. And when we believe we can attract a higher quality of person, that actually projects to people that we meet. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy because people look to one another to give each other cues on what value you have. And a lot of that comes from confidence. That's why a lot of men fake confidence, because it works in seeming to be more attractive. I encourage you and support you to build your own authentic confidence by raising your standards, saying no to relationships that you don't want or that you don't deserve. And please become a subscriber. Come back to my new studio. You're going to be very excited to see the content that I'm going to be pushing out. I'm really excited for it. I'm probably going to keep it to just once a week on Sundays, and we'll focus more on working with some of these really smart, brilliant sociologists and psychologists and behavioral economists, just some of the coolest people who study human behavior and mating strategies and understanding. How can we simplify this? How can we just be our authentic self and find a good match in this modern day tech mess where everyone's on the this is another video. I'm going to go on a tangent in another video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this at all, if you found it helpful to become aware of the different ways that men use women so you could see how to avoid being used or seen as an object and how you can really shine, set your standards, and ensure that you are in a healthy relationship. And if you found any value in this, please hit the thumbs up button beneath the video, the little thumb, because it really helps this content to be seen. And I believe that this is an important message. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Be well.